going to start recording because I find this hilarious.
Fantastic. All right. So I think we're ready to start episode 2. What do you think, bud? I got my water.
You got your water?
I got the screen popped up.
Oh, we're doing Avenged. Alright.
Let's do it. Yeah. So what's up, guys? We're back here. I'm Ryan. He's Kieran. We got Avenged Sevenfold today. We're gonna be kind of going through this album, similar to our first Elixir Podcast episode, where we broke down Meteora by Linkin Park. Today we're doing the same thing, but for Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album. This is a banger. I'm going to just start off by saying this is not the best, in my opinion, Avenged Sevenfold album, but my favorite just because of the track list, which is, yes, a weird opinion, but hey, I'm a weird guy.
Yeah, like my opinion on the album, like, I really, really like all the songs that I'm incredibly familiar with on the album, and you'll
Right.
notice more in the review. But like just that whole middle line on the album there, I don't mess with too much. I don't know.
I don't F-bomb with.
Yeah. Let's see. I have to think to not swear. We're progress from the last one.
That's it. All right. So why don't we just get right into it, man? Track 1, Avenged Sevenfold. It's not an intro. It's actually a banger. Critical acclaim. You want to start with this one, or am I just gonna fangirl over this song first?
I mean, I can just go. Just the organs at the beginning. Just like you listen to Avenged Sevenfold, and like I've listened to a lot of Avenged Sevenfold before I heard critical acclaim.
Absolutely.
And like they do a lot of different stuff. Like they've had, I guess, orchestrated elements before. Strength of the World has kind of that like weird orchestra that's off City of Evil. That's off City of Evil. Most of you probably don't know that, but yeah. So I've seen them do kind of orchestraic elements before, but just the organ, I don't know. My body was not ready.
It's so evil, right?
Yeah,
and it sets the tone so well for the rest of the album. So well.
And it's just such a flawless transition. Like you wouldn't think, like just organ straight into like double bass, like so much snare. Like he hits the snare so much in the intro.
Absolutely. It's crazy. It's just that simplistic but perfect rev drumming that follows it up, and then the Shadows scream just kind of. It's like, wow, like I remember first listening to it, he doesn't scream at all really on City of Evil. So he kind of comes back with this one, and it's that nice little distorted shadow scream that he did so well. Last note I will say on critical acclaim while we're on vocal work is every single part of this song is different vocally, but they found a way to make it work, right? Like you got that classic Avenged kind of verse 1 with the whispers and the sort of angst to it, and then you get this rap after the chorus. The chorus has the Rev's vocals in it. That those bridge vocals are crazy well done. It's so nice. It's definitely going to be in a top 3 at the end of the album if it's not top 1 for me. Cool, man. So let's get into track 2, Almost Easy, the song that I believe I discovered from Guitar Hero and just really started jamming it that way. I think that's where I first heard Almost Easy as a little boy. But definitely a banger in my opinion.
Yeah, Almost Easy is probably in my top 3 on this album. It does everything that Avenged is known for. It has the catchy riffs, the great solo, the great drumming, and just amazing vocals to throw in on top. Like, Almost Easy is probably one of the best Avenged Sevenfold songs out there.
Hot take.
Definitely hot take, but it's just it like you think of this like I think of Avenged and like Almost Easy is probably one of the songs that I think of or I'd show somebody to be like this is Avenged Sevenfold, right?
I think we'll have to get back to it. Let's put it aside. I don't know if it's as unanimous for me in a top three just because of what comes, later on the album. But let's definitely reconsider it at the end when we're jotting it down. Song 3.
Mic on.
Scream. I know you make me wanna scream.
Yeah, Scream.
What do you think about Scream?
Scream is a tough one. It's a really good song and I love it.
Yeah.
The solo's never particularly done anything for me though. Not to say that it isn't a good solo. It is technically something that I probably will never be able to play in my life. Let's throw that right out there. But it's just
Same.
as opposed to the next song, I'll kind of compare Scream and Afterlife. At least their solos here. The Scream solo is incredibly fast. So is the Afterlife solo,
Yeah.
but you compare the two, and the Afterlife solo has just so much more going on melodically. There's movement in the solo. The Scream solo, besides the intro to the solo and that little ending part at the end, there's
Yeah.
not much going on melodically. The fast part is just a really fast run that stays in the same place, which is incredibly impressive, but it
Yeah.
doesn't do that much for me.
Right. So it's not as
Mic off.
capturing for you. It is the essence of your comment. For me, I mean, I think it's
Mic
super
on.
unique. I think the whole theme behind it, like the sort of pleasure through killing, is something that could be viewed as controversial, but I dig it. I think that's a really unique path to sort of explore thematically.
Just clarify that a little more. You do not dig pleasure through killing.
No,
You dig the exploration of the idea.
Yes,
Mic off.
exactly. Through the artistic expression via that idea. God damn, I hate that I have to clarify that, but yes, that's what it is. And the
Mic
last thing
on.
I'll really say about it is, while it's probably not in my top 3 on the album, I would love to see them play that live one day. I know they have during their run, like when they filmed live in the LBC back when this album came out. They did play this live. They were playing it live. I would love to see this kind of song live, just to capture it, instrumentally. Moving on, let's go. Afterlife, number 4. Kieran, do you like this song?
What can't you say about Afterlife? I don't think this song has a flaw. Hard to say though.
Absolutely agree.
It's just a beautiful intro. I guess the violins, I could be wrong, they could be freaking some sort of violin-like stringed instrument.
Right, yeah.
It could be a cello or something.
Cello,
I don't know what's going
exactly.
on in that whole orchestration, but it's just you got that, and like then the guitar that just mimics that, but it takes it in a completely different direction. The bass line and the drums just locking in together to hold everything steady.
Yeah.
The vocals kick in. The verse riff is insane. The pre-chorus, the chorus slows everything down a little bit, but keeps everything nice. Like it still sounds so big.
Yeah.
And like clearly the highlights of this song are like the bridge into solo.
Right.
Solo, I don't know. Anyways, the rev vocals on that are just incredible.
Wild. I mean, as much as I'm influenced by M Shadow's vocal
Mic
work,
off.
I try to take great influence in the Rev's vocal work too, because as great as a drummer he was, I would say that he's like probably one of my favorite vocalists, and the guy's not even a vocalist,
Mic on.
And in highlight because of the work that he's done on this entire album, and namely on this song, it's crazy to still live it.
Yeah. It's just this entire song is just so beautiful. Nothing more to say about it. So we'll just go straight to number 5, and I'll open up number 5 because my my experience with Gunslinger is probably a little bit strange.
Yeah,
So
I think one of the first times you actually paid attention to this song was probably when we were rehearsing for it to play it at that live stream we did together
yeah,
back before this project
absolutely.
even took off. Eh?
So my experience with the song is like I've heard it before when listening to the album, but I've never really paid much attention to it. And then
Yeah,
Ryan one day just hits me up. He's like, "Yeah, hey, I'm doing like a little live acoustic set. Here's the songs that I want to do. Go learn them." So I'm like, "Gunslinger, I have no idea." I said yes. I'm like, whatever. It can't be that bad, right? So I look at that. I just listened to that like intro blues riff, and I'm like, how the freaking hell am I supposed to play this? Yeah, I had to hold
yeah.
back the F bomb there. Well,
The red button was almost pressed. That's
yeah,
great. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those songs that, as someone like me who loves this album and can listen to it on any given day, to me, it's a banger. It's one of those slower, kind of bluesy bangers. That's how I'm going to refer to it. Um, but like you said, if you're not really down to get into the album, if you're just looking to brush over the album, I would probably say to skip this one. Because while the message and mood is there, it's definitely not one that stands out. And I think with that being said, it definitely wouldn't go into a
yeah.
for this album. But nevertheless, great song in my opinion.
I'd just like to add like the versatility on Sinister's Gates part. At least I believe he's the one who wrote the main riff and anything. Just to be able to like write something like very bluesy and just like mix it in perfectly with the metal like that. And that honestly, like
Yeah,
that's one of the things people perhaps don't touch on enough when talking about Sinister Gates. Is just like he's actually incredibly versatile as a guitar player. And
right.
like you'll see it even on further tracks in this I guess the last track on this album, like
Yeah,
just the versatility that he can bring out in his guitar playing and fuse that together with his metal style that he's got going on.
yep.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I agree. I agree. Very well said.
Mic off.
And with that, let's move on to song 6, Unbound, The Wild Ride, which literally feels like a wild like drug trip. I mean, I've never
Mic
really
on.
experienced something like that, but just sonically, like just the sound selection, I think is wild to me. Like it's all, I don't know how to describe it, not properly anyway, but it's pleasing, but it's different. Very, very different. How well versed are you with Unbound, The Wild
Unbound
Ride?
Ride is probably the song I'm the least versed with on this album. I've heard it once or twice maybe. Um
All right.
the few times that I have heard it, it's just been I guess a little underwhelming to me compared to the rest of the songs on this album. Like even when I heard
Yeah.
Gunslinger for the first time, like
Yeah.
it blew, well, not for the first time, but when I took a re-listen to reinvestigate the Gunslinger, like just the blues riff and everything, like, it blew me away. Unbound Ride hasn't ever done that for me on the times that I've listened to it.
Yeah. I get that. It's
Mic
definitely, in
off.
my opinion, the most different, unique song on the album, if you would say. But I think it's so low key in the sense where it's just thorough the whole way through. So I think my opinion differs from yours a little bit, and honing in basically on the vocals. I think once you get towards the end of that song, Shadows basically does a vocal that is incredible. Like the power and the delivery
Mic
of
on.
that vocal that the choir then later mimics in the song. And for those who know the song very well, you'll know what I'm talking about. This part just, it gets to me every single time. If there's one 30-second section of the song that you have to listen to, it's definitely that part there right at the end. And I also think it's cool that they had kids feature on this song right at the end of the song. Again, it's just unique all around. But in conclusion, it definitely does not go into my top 3. Just nowhere near the level of greatness that a critical acclaim or an Afterlife would has achieved.
Yeah. So,
So song 7,
yeah.
yeah. Brompton
Brompton
Cocktail.
Cocktail.
What can you say? I know that this middle section of the album is not your most experienced with. Anything to say about Brompton Cocktail? If not, I can definitely take that mic back.
Well, just the entire, like, from what I do know about Brompton Cocktail, just the theme of it. And I know, like, I don't, I can't, I don't know the story well enough to quite, to say it, to
Assume.
quote it to you guys, but just so if you want to take over and just say the story behind the song a little bit.
Right. So I think Brompton Cocktail, basically what a Brompton Cocktail refers to, for those who don't know, is an alcohol mixed with typical drug substance like pills or oxy or whatever it's put together which usually causes overdose, fatalities, poisoning of whatever. It's like a toxic cocktail, and with this song, it refers to sort of obviously suicide. Now, from that, given the time frame of this album, I've always speculated, again, conspiracy, not speculated, that the Rev being the main songwriter of this song, was it his suicide note? Was it a sort of portrayal of what he was feeling at the time? If you listen to the lyrics very closely, you'll definitely understand what I'm saying. That's the way I feel. For that reason alone, I think it's such a powerful song. But I wouldn't put it necessarily in my top 3. It might sneak in as like a 4, a very low key 4 for me, but not a top 3 song.
For me, like, the only thing is just like the theme of the song is very dark, obviously, as explained, and it's just the music, how it reinforces the theme. I don't know. I find like they just fit hand in hand together so well. Like, it's a very hard thing to do, to write music that, I guess, portrays the theme or helps reinforce your theme so well. Writing lyrics is easy. Writing songs, relatively, like, you could write a song relatively easy, 4 chords, but like, to have those two interconnect so well, it's
Right.
that's on a whole other level altogether.
I absolutely agree. All right, let's move it on. Lost, the auto-tune song. Thoughts?
Let's just leave it at that, and
Are we just leaving the Lost aside? It's not in my top 3 for sure. I think, kudos to them. They tried. And it's not even bad, right? I don't think any song off this album is bad, but not a top 3.
It's definitely the worst song on the album.
Yeah. There we go. We've confirmed it. We're not doing a worst song off every album. It's not the segment, but that is, in our collective opinion, without even hesitating, probably the worst song. Again, not a bad song, but the worst song off this album.
If you disagree, come fight me.
Yeah. Drop a comment if you disagree, and if Lost is in your top 3, maybe just unsubscribe from this channel. No, I'm kidding. Please subscribe. We need all we can.
Speaking of which, the next song, "A Little Piece of Heaven." Now,
little piece of heaven and perfection, and wow, man, yeah, Kieran, just go off with it.
As we were saying about Scream, like the themes. Oh, this album thematically is a really good album, and like, this song is like, it has a very similar message to Scream. Put it a different way, but everything about this song is just beautiful. I don't even know how to go about explaining how amazing it is.
It's everything that should be repressed in our minds thematically and idealistically, or whatever you want to call it, made into a song. Like, let's fantasize about marrying a dead person, about sexual intercourse with a dead person. Who does that?
Yeah, it almost feels like Eminem wrote the lyrics. At least
Absolutely,
very
right?
early, like, Eminem.
Exactly. And the lyrics just hone down on that so well, and they're funny. That's what I like about it, because like you said, like Eminem in his early days, right? Obviously not meant to be taken seriously, but just so funny.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm drawing a blank on the lyrics, but
Yeah, we
though
don't
that
need
lyric about
Eminem songs. We're not talking about that right now.
no. I mean, from A Little Piece of Heaven, that lyric about the
Oh.
needing a heater for your
Yeah, I
thighs
always knew
or
it
whatever
would
it
get
is.
cold.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So I got a heater for your thighs or something.
Yeah.
Just perfect,
This
really.
I don't know. This whole song is the once again definitely one of the top Avenged songs of all time, in my opinion.
It's my favorite Avenged Sevenfold song, and I could definitely spend hours arguing that it is the best Avenged Sevenfold song.
Yeah. All right.
So, I think that's unanimously both in our top threes.
Oh yeah.
Before giving our top threes, we do have this last song, Dear God. I'm going to start by saying that along with Lost, not even one of my favorite songs off the album. I know that's a
Really.
hot take, controversial opinion. It was a single. There are some good parts. I'm not going to lie. I skip this one most times.
um, I haven't listened to Dear God in a while. Hell, I haven't listened to most of this album in a while, but
Right.
I don't know. Every time I hear Dear God, like Gunslinger, I'm just reminded of the versatility in Sinister Gates' guitar playing, and just the ability, like,
Fair. Yep.
the one problem with this song is, like, a problem, is it's kind of like, it's made as, like, a stereotypical ballad type song, right? So
Yeah.
it starts slow and smooth, and it just builds up until that big climactic ending where they go with that, finally add in the distorted guitars, the
Yep.
palm muted riffs again. So it kind of
Yep.
builds like that, and the song definitely feels cheesy, right? Like, I don't know,
Maybe that's
like
why I don't like it. I've never even thought of it that way, but maybe that's why I don't like it.
the song lyrics are a little cheesy. Definitely, unlike the rest of this album, not really a topic that, like, dear God, like, this topic has been explored before. The theme isn't very original, I would say.
Or elaborated on.
The song is definitely a little on the cheesier side, but still a great song. I don't know. I am torn.
Yeah. All right. So let's do it. Our top three. I think you started the last video, so why don't I start this one by giving my top three?
Yeah.
Again, I'll go from 3 to 1. So at number 3, I'm gonna go Afterlife. Again, banger, the best metal solo ever written. Fight me on that. Fight me in the comments. I don't care. Number 2 would be Critical Acclaim, and my number 1 would unanimously be A Little Piece of Heaven. There's
Yeah.
just nothing better. Kieran, why don't you hit us with your top 3?
All right, top three. Number one as well is A Little Piece of Heaven. Number two, I'm gonna have to go with Afterlife, and then number three, Almost Easy.
Nice. So you get
So,
Almost Easy in there. Yeah.
yeah, I have to. I don't know what it is about it. It's just, it's just a good song.
Absolutely. All right. So that concludes episode 2 of the Elixir Podcast. We broke down Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album. We really hope that you enjoyed this video. We really hope that you're enjoying our music, and please invite your friends to come on and like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the world to us. And also leave us a comment if you agree with us, if you disagree with us. We're always down to chat and have some extra debates with you guys. Also, let us know if there's an album that you really like that means this much to you, and maybe we'll get to it eventually.